video going. I tried a different angle on the camera earlier, and it did not work out so hot. I don't know how much you guys could actually see in those. Plus, I tend to forget what I'm doing time and space-wise. I'm just worried about my soap. So I've got my goat milk and lye here. And you're going to be like, what? Making Lotus Blossom by Nature's Garden. I know I've already got a Lotus Blossom video, but that one I did a hanger swirl in. In this one, I'm going to be doing a pink and purple camo. It just seems right. Plus, it's for rodeo. I'm switching it over. I'm doing Humble Rodeo this year. Made 2 batches of it about a month ago now. And I figured I wanted to go ahead and have one more ready for kind of afterwards for anybody that wanted to order it at that point in time. You never know. So we got that all ready. Strain that out. Get that in there. If I can do so without knocking all my empty things over. Anyways, it's real easy to do camo soap. Like, beyond belief easy. Not as hard as you would think. Not an exact science. And I'm sure there's a couple ways to do this technique and have it come out really neat. I love the camo. Don't get me wrong, I like all the swirls and stuff too. But the camo soap just has its own little Texan flair that goes with it. And I had, back at Christmas time, a regular, like, traditional brown and green camo that I was doing in a leathery scent, kind of more for the guys. I changed it up for the event at the Harley-Davidson place into black and orange and white swirls, and I called it Shiny Side Up, just to, made one batch of it to change it up for that. And I'm kind of debating if I want to do the same one for spring or not. I think I want to do a camo soap, but I think I want to do a different scent for the guys, if that makes any sense. So we'll see. Of course, I might stick with that same fragrance and the black and orange and white, because that went over pretty good too. And I really like the way it looks. And then just add a camo in a different one. I don't know. Just time and space in the soap room. What I have available. Move those over to the sink right quick. Stick blender action going. Since this is a floral, it moves a little fast, not bad. I just want that emulsified at best. Maybe a light trace, but no more than that. Split that up 4 ways. Actually, I do want it kind of on the even side because I'll be splitting the fragrance as I go. Oh, that was scary, exactly the same as the previous one. Very close. Yeah, since I'm going to be splitting the fragrance by weight, I want everything pretty close. I got a parsley. Hang on, let me catch this parsley leaf. There we go. I used parsley in the soap batch that I just made, the peppermint, and I had a leaf floating loose. Go figure. Alright, so that's nice and even. Now, this here is a little bit of the Pink Vibrance Mica mixed in oil from Nurture Soaps. I'm going to do 1 $1. And then $1, $2. I'm just going to use a spoon to blend that in and kind of see where I get with my pinks. Because I do want one to be lighter than the other, even though they'll both be essentially the same. If I got to pull out the titanium dioxide and lighten one up, I can. Though I hate to do it. But I might have to. Maybe just a least smidgen. I probably should have gone a half a dollop in the other one. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. I've already got that mixed up, so we'll just add a little bit. I used that in a batch very first thing this evening. There we go. Just give that a good quick whir. I don't want it going too fast on me. Put that to the side. This is Purple Vibrance Mica that I had mixed for another batch this morning. Try and get all the last little bits of goodness out of there. Might end up going the same direction as the last one. So there's actually the purple. Let's see what we get. The purple doesn't go quite as far as the pink. Sometimes you need a little bit extra. Not bad, not bad at all. We'll take it. And then, since there's some left in here, I'll use that soapy goodness and get it out. I don't know why, it just helps to do this. Mix a little soap in when you've got just a little bit of color left. Or at least I feel that it does. It helps to suck it out of the bottom so you're not wasting any color. Because micas ain't free and they ain't cheap. Alright, let's see if we get a darker one or if I gotta pull out another spoon. And yeah, I gotta pull out another spoon. I have a little more mixed up. Once it gets low, when it comes in these nifty little plastic tubbies, I'll use those to mix my color in from then on. That way I can slap a lid on them and I can have all my colors ready before I come to make soap, and then I can put a lid on them so they're nice and safe and protected. So like earlier when I had a piece of parsley from the prior batch floating in there, that doesn't happen to my color. Silly, I know. Anyways, these Vibrance Micas tend to go, the purple tends to go just a wee smidge gray at first. And then it turns purple as the pH balances back out. It's kind of a trip the way it does. But that's what I want right there. So I can throw that in there, put that to the side. Put that back out of the way. Because I'm going to need some room. Of stuff everywhere. There's my little towel. Okay. Put that on there. Zero it out. We're going to do the trick. The stick trick. said 0. Okay. So then the fragrance is split equally. Move that out of the way. Stir that in. Being a floral, I have soaked very, very cool, like room temperature cool. Only brought it to emulsified. Maybe a light trace, but no more. And then I've separated it, kind of like insurance, just in case. And fragranced each one separately. That way, if something were to go crazy on me, I would have time to at least get the color in the mold and back up and regroup before I ruined a bunch of soap. Now, I've soaked this one enough times. I know I don't have to worry too much. But it does buy me a little time by separating it, which is nice. And it's still nice and loose. Now, the first ones I mixed up are a little thicker, and I know that one is going to be just a wee smidge thick. I know it is, because I put titanium dioxide in and hit with stick blender. It's going to be a little thicker than what I've got here. But see, these are still nice and loose. You want them maybe just a smidge thicker than these are before you start doing the camo soap. About like how this one is. This one's just a little on the thick side. Not much. Because you want the colors to all kind of float on top of each other. You don't want them necessarily to blend together a bunch. And I had a bar somewhere I was going to show y'all, but I guess we can wait until we cut it. I'll show you how it comes out. That way there's some mystery left. But move some of this ucky business, wipe the table down before I scoop the mold over. Now, the hardest part for me is getting it in the mold without making a mess. Because this is a lot of pouring back and forth. Right. And so eventually, as I make this one, it starts to kind of drip all over the place. Down the front of my pictures. It's not the end of the world. You just want to pour real light and kind of float it. Alright, that one's coming up kind of nice and thick for me. And it's just that simple. It just goes in long layers down in your mold. Let's see. Maybe I'll do another. And you kind of want to alternate, but not too much, because then it looks more like a checkerboard. Like every now and then you want to kind of back up a color on top of itself, if that makes any sense. Like with this one. And then maybe I'll throw in some of the other pink over here. Nice big old glob of pink. down the... But see how I'm dripping everywhere? I don't know if the camera's catching that. I'm not watching the camera to see what I'm getting. I just know I'm making drips everywhere. It's what I do. It's one of my messier soaps that I make. But it's not the end of the world. By any means. You want to be sure to give everything a good stir to catch anything that's kind of set up on it. Float that down the middle. Big old chunk of purple. There we go. And see, this one, the floral makes it set up and get just a little thicker as I go, which is actually kind of nice. If you've got one that doesn't, like a fragrance that doesn't really move, like, what's I'm thinking of here? Bedtime Bath. Bedtime Bath is a fragrance that almost kind of works backwards. It goes really slow, there's no acceleration. You might want to blend your stuff up just a little more before you go to do this. Maybe just a little more of this pink over here. Just a thin line of it for kicks. Torn. Maybe some light pink. Notice how I have to kind of like move with it. Be ready to kind of move the mold around and move yourself around and just plop it in there and have fun. It's not an exact science with the camo soap. That's for sure. Put a line of that over there and one over there. Maybe some more bright pink right down the middle. The goal is not to have a whole bunch of one color when you get to the top. That way it's all mixed in pretty well. Maybe some light purple over here. And see, if you have patience with it, if you start with it just right, it'll get almost easier to work with as your mold gets a little fuller. Maybe some dark purple on top of the bright pink. Maybe some light pink on the opposite side. Get in just a line or two. Oop, big old glove. Not what I was going for. That's okay. There are no mistakes in camo soap. Best thing you can do is just have fun with it. When you go to cut it, it's awesome. I'm telling you now. Like, one of the most awesome, most funnest soaps. Maybe do some purple on top of each other. A line of that over there. There's soap all over this table. I'm going to be cleaning this one up till the cows come home and whatnot. That's okay. Maybe just a little bit. Let's see. Scrape that off. Move that to that. Spatulas are your friend as you get close to the end with this one. That way you can get the last little bit of color out of every thing. Then the nice thing is with this one, the top almost does itself when you get to the very end. There'll be lines and rows of color on the top where you can just kind of have fun with it and swirl it. Whoops. Straight down the side. And that's what gloves are for, so you can just fix that. Not worry about burning your fingers off. Of course, it's not. The lie is not Fight Club bad once you got it in the soap batter. Yeah, it stings a little. Yeah, you want to be cautious. You know, kind of like mall rats. Fear and respect the escalator. Okay, same thing with the lie. Fear and respect the lie. Like, you don't want to get it in your eyes, but you don't have to be all paranoid Floyd. If it splashes on you, it's not the end of the world. Wipe it off. Rinse yourself off. You know, clean up immediately if it gets on your skin, whatever, but you're not going to die. Now that lion water or lion goat milk mix is a little stronger, of course. So you do want to be cautious. There. Put a little down the middle. But it's not the terrifying thing that some people would make it out to be, as long as you have proper respect for it. Good to know, right? Okay. And this is one you want to have all your spatulas ready for. Just saying. You do want to scrape all that soapy goodness out. It can be a little messier when you get to the top, unless you want like a straight, pretty, perfect top. But I'm gonna be cleaning this up and whacking it down and swirling stuff. Now, before you go to whack it down, I do suggest that you don't send raw soap flying all over your face, that you wipe your sides down. You can go smack this on the counter over there. Now remember, because you're layering in semi-thick soap, you're gonna be prone to air bubbles. So you want to give it a couple of really good whacks to get all those air bubbles out. And then I take my skewer. I go back and forth really, really high up in the soap. Like, I don't stick it all the way down. We're only in, can you see that? We're talking like 1/8 of an inch. Trying to decide if one more swirl is one swirl too many. It's a hard decision to make. I have a tendency to over swirl things. Let's see what happens. No. That was the right decision. Kind of pull it back the other way, diagonal. Now, this is just some plain shiny white glitter, like an iridescent glitter. Since I do this one pink and purple, I really play up the girly aspect of it. And I do this purpley pink glitter as well. A little bit less of it, because it's a really strong one. And voila, maybe a little more of the iridescent one. That's it. It is one of the messiest soaps. Let me grab another towel before I go touching on my cell phone. One of the messiest soaps you will ever make, because unless you're like super clean, which I'm not. I drip everywhere. But there we have it. Camo soap.